Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is another makes video. This is going to be my February makes. Already a week into March, but don't hold me to a tight time frame. So what I've got to show you today, I've only got a few items of clothing. I managed to post and make a lot of gifts in the month, so I don't have those things with me anymore. They've been gifted, so I can't show those to you today, I'm afraid. But I'll show you the stuff that I've made for myself, and I've also got a few home things to show you guys too, because I've been starting to kind of decorate this place a little bit too. Okay, so first up is my sushi pajamas. Now, every year I make new pajamas for Chinese New Year. I don't know for sure whether that's a thing or not, but my mum always insisted throughout my childhood that you should get a new pair of pajamas for Chinese New Year. So since I started kind of doing more sewing and all of that, I've started making my own. Last year I made the Nina Lee Piccadilly pajamas. The year before that I made the Tilly and the Buttons and Fifi pajamas. And you know what, it's a lot of fun. No one's gonna see these things, you're not gonna wear them out, but you know, sometimes it's nice to go to bed and you're under your duvet and you're like, I've made my outfit still. It's a nice feeling for sure. So I'm going to show you these pajamas. So the top of the pajamas, which is here, is the Kyoto t-shirt from Papercut patterns. It's a pattern that I've used a couple times before. It's a very simple shape. It's a drop shoulder sleeve top and full length sleeves, or if you have the pattern, you can also make it as a t-shirt, and it's got this ruffle thing in the sleeve seam and all of that. But I've made it just plain. I quite like it as just a t-shirt shape, when you want something a bit slouchy. But it's finished with a neckband on the top and a hemband around the bottom and cuffs as well. And if you have a look closely at this fabric, hopefully that's focused, you'll see how amazing it is. It's all this sushi with little faces on it, and it's just the cutest thing ever. So to go with my Papercut t-shirt, I made some shorts, which I'm about to find here. So I made these shorts to go with them, which looks like I haven't trimmed a lot of my threads, but you get the gist. So these shorts I actually self-drafted, mostly because I have this pair of Hollister shorts from years and years and years and years ago that I love. They're cute, those little short shorts, like lounge shorts that just fit really well, and there's no reason to ever buy another pair. But they're the kind of things that you'll lounge around the house in on a summer's day and things like that. But it's a nice rise on my body, it's got a nice fit around the butt and things like that, so I thought I'd use that as a kind of a base pattern for this. Where I basically just traced around the pattern pieces. I then added a little bit of extra fabric onto the side for this overlapping bit. So you can see here it's got a side split all the way to the top, but I've overlapped those on the side here, and then I've just added a big elastic waistband over the top of those too. So obviously you aren't going to want to wear shorts that do this outside of the house necessarily, unless you're at the beach, but this is more for just for comfort. I like to feel a bit unrestricted when I'm sleeping, so that really helps. If you didn't want to have a split like that, you can easily just kind of sew down, like top stitch down on this bit. But I'm thinking of doing a little video tutorial on how to make that. It's something that's really quick and easy, and if you've got a pair of shorts that already fit you, you can just trace something off and have a new pair of shorts in about an hour, or even less than that if you're quick at it. But yeah, something that's really fun, really easy to do, and it's just like a really cute pajama set. The next thing I'm going to show you, which I will put on actually, is this cardigan that I made for my Minerva Crafts make for this month. It's very much a granddad cardigan, as you can see. I got this fabric by accident. I thought I had put down the information and the link to a different fabric, and it turned out that I made a mistake. It happens. I'm sure a lot of people have experienced that with online shopping, where things appear that aren't quite what you expected, but it's free and I didn't want to kind of quibble about it, so I decided to just make the most of it, and I made this cardigan. So this is a wool mix. It's I think 60 or 70% wool, and the rest of it's acrylic, and it's a knitted fabric. So you can see on the inside you've got the knitted side here, it's got this bobbly texture on the outside. It's an interesting fabric for sure, and it is very, very warm. So this is definitely the kind of coziest cardigan I've got at the moment. Not really my kind of my colour scheme, I'll be honest. I don't really do a lot of this kind of browns and natural tones, but again, it's, you know, it's something that's going to be great for being around the house in. Not probably something that I'll be wearing out too much again though. So I used a McCall's pattern. I'll link to the specific pattern number down below, because I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's a pattern that I've had in my stash for a while. I like to buy cardigan patterns and then I don't make them, because I realise that as much as I love cardigans and have loved cardigans in the past, I've always been disappointed with the cardigans that I've always made. So yeah. So tell me what you think about it. It's not really my kind of thing, I'll be honest, but it kind of does a job, if you know what I mean. But it was a very quick make, like one of those things that's kind of over and done with in an hour or so. And I got to use up this fabric. I'm thinking I might gift this to my mum though. It's definitely her kind of colour. Okay, so I'm going to pop that to the side and I'll show you what my next make is, and that is this fun thing here. Oh, all twisted around. Yeah, here we go. That is this fun thing over here. Okay, this is the Trend Patterns 70s frill dress. I got the pattern for this when it first came out, like a long time ago. I loved the samples that Lucy had made for these. There's I'll link to some photos here somewhere. There's this maxi over-the-top frill dress. It's very Gucci, you know, that kind of bit crazy, a bit granny chic. And she also has this gorgeous black lace short version as well, which I loved. So I always really wanted to make the pattern. This pattern company is one that I've always really championed. I love her drafting skills. I think that they're always very interesting and the patterns come together really beautifully. The instructions are a bit but if you're kind of a relatively experienced sewer, you should be able to get through it without any problems whatsoever. I have a tendency, it's just because it's a lot of writing and not a lot of photos, and sometimes I'm just being lazy and I'll be like, oh, I'll have a very quick glance through the instructions, then put it to the side and carry on however I think it's supposed to come together, which sometimes leads to problems, but most of the time you can kind of, you know, fudge your way through a lot of sewing things. So I decided to make this kind of red dress. It was initially meant to be for the Little Red Dress Project, which is a challenge that, an Instagram challenge that they do every December, but when I fell ill with the very worst case of flu I've ever had, I just didn't have time to get it ready in time, and then I thought I'll make it for Chinese New Year because, you know, red's a lucky colour. Also didn't do it in time for that, but I finally made my way through it all and did it. So this red polyester satin actually doesn't feel too bad, by the way, as much as like polyester satin does not sound good. I got it from Walthamstow market, so it was £2 a metre. Can't be too fussy when you're looking at that kind of pricing, and I kind of made it out of that. It's not an easy fabric to work with in the slightest though. It moves and wriggles and has a mind of its own. So yeah, it was a mildly traumatic on that front, and it's far from perfect. I wished that I could have kind of like, if I had a different fabric, I think it would have come out much neater. That being said, because there's kind of so much going on, I don't think you can really see the flaws too much in this one anyway. So the pattern's quite interesting. It's got this big frill that runs right from the top of the collar and all the way around the back and to the front. You know what? Hold on a moment. I'm just gonna go pop this on for you and you'll find it much easier to understand what's going on. So this is what that dress looks like. It's interesting in a good way, I think. So the front has this kind of open area all the way to the top. I think you can kind of have the option of putting a little hook, an eye closure at the top there, but I left it open just because I didn't want it too restricting. And it's got this long frill that runs all the way from the front, round the shoulders here, all the way around the back and to the other side. So if I do this, you'll be able to see it kind of flare out a little bit. And then towards the front you've got these little kind of gathers at the waist instead of a dart. There's no other darts on the front actually, and there's a little dart around on the back. I don't know if you can see that at all. And then it's got just these tiers of fabric all the way down. So in terms of the alterations that I did, I shortened the bodice by 1 centimetre and I just made shorter tiers and skipped off the last tier. This is if you've got the pattern, if you're making it, and just make it in a short version, and then I just left off the sleeves. So it is supposed to come with these long sleeves with big cuffs at the bottom here, but I thought that was a bit much, especially in this fabric. I do want to try it in something else, like maybe something that's going to contrast or have different like fabrics in there, because it is a fun pattern. I don't know if it's too much, and it's a little, you know. The shoulders are interesting. So it's got this big yoke over the, I'll move my hair out the way. So it's got a kind of a yoke top here, and there's no separate shoulder area here. That's all just like a grown on shoulder here. So it's almost like kind of quite a fitted cape shape over the top part here. I wonder what it'd feel like with sleeves, because see, without the sleeves I've got plenty of movement still, despite the wrinkles that come up on here. Still kind of party away in it, but it's a strange one. I wouldn't say strange, it's different, and if you're looking for different, this is definitely where you want to go if you're looking for new patterns. Okay, so I'm just gonna get changed again. Okay, back to something a bit more normal. So I've also got 3 really cute home decorating projects that I've been working on in the last kind of few weeks as well, that I thought I'd show you, because I know a lot of people were interested to see what I was going to be doing with this place. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this thing here. Oh, yes! It is that heavy, okay? So this poof I made as a project for Spoonflower. So all these prints, all these fabrics are using their denim and just the prints that I found on their website. I didn't design any of them myself because I have tried it in the past and found that I am not good at doing repeat patterns like that. So I left it to the professionals and picked out some funky patterns from that website. And I used the free pattern from Closet Case, and their poof pattern, which is, the idea behind the poof pattern was that you collect up all these remnant pieces and then make something, you know, lovely out of them, and then fill it with all your scraps and scrap fabrics as well. So this is actually full of fabric at the moment, which is why it's so weighty. It really goes to show why, you know, people use stuffing, like pillow stuffing and beanbag stuffing and things like that, because this is weighty, very, very weighty. But it's a great pattern to use. I found it really easy, it's really quick. I used a faux leather piping around the edges, and the piping helps to give it a little bit more rigidity, which is great for a footstool like this. It closes with a zip at the bottom, so it's easy to kind of take off and clean. And I've made some knitting bags out of an old IKEA net curtain that I then use to kind of sew up a bag to keep all my little scrap bits in there together. I liked it enough that I also made one almost identical for one of my sisters. I bought fabric to make some more as well. So what I would like to do is, instead of throwing away all those tiny little useless bits of fabric, which you always end up with after a project because we'll never cut perfectly efficiently, there'll always be some bits left over, but then to use all of those bits that I can't use for anything else and to stuff one of these things with it. And because it takes up quite a lot, each one actually, you know, it's a relatively long process to fold one up. I just happened to have a lot of kind of scraps lying around because I'd been collecting them. I'd planned to take them out to H&M to recycle and just never got around to it, so I actually had quite a bit left over, but I've used up all the scraps I have so far. So this will be kind of starting afresh. We'll see how long it takes for me to fill up one. So we'll see what happens with those, but my idea is that I'll always have one on the go, like ready to be filled. And then as and when they get filled, I'll gift them on to friends and family. That way everyone gets to share the love, share the joy, and also help the environment by reducing our waste. The next thing I'm going to show you is this thing here. So, Black Friday last year, I was looking for like, you know, things to do and like what classes and stuff were on sale, and there was this one at the London Craft Club. It's not a company that I'd used before, but I'd heard of them, so I thought, you know what, let's give it a try. It's 30% off, why not? And it was for an evening macrame mirror workshop, and that was to make this. It's not too shabby, right? So they teach you, they give you the pattern essentially, and show you how to, and all the equipment. Okay, it comes with everything, not this wire that I've been using this to hang up, and they'll show you how to do the different knots and things. So these are square knots on the top, which are in alternating rows, these kind of loopy bits, I can't remember what they're called already, but these loopy things all the way down, and basically showing you how to manipulate everything in order to create something that works like this. You can see the back of it as well. So actually it doesn't look like it should be that stable, but it really is. I'll be honest, I did the class, so I was kind of started doing it, and then about 10 minutes in I realised that, you know what, I actually do know how to macrame. Not that I was aware of it, but I must have like done a lot of these kind of friendship bracelets, and I don't know if anyone remembers like back when, like way back in the day, when everyone's doing these plastic Scooby things and they were like using them as keychains and doing them everywhere. But essentially that is macrame. It's the same knots. So I already knew how to do it. My fingers would just do the things. So I was one of the only people to actually finish doing this in the class. And even then I came home, undid most of it and redid it to make it a bit neater. But it's actually really easy to do. I wouldn't like say that anyone couldn't do it. It might be a bit more time consuming for some than others, depending on how much experience you have doing this kind of thing, but it's really fun. I don't know how much application I have for this going forward. I know I've seen a lot of macrame planters, like hanging planters and things like that, but I just don't know where I would put those here. This mirror at the moment is in my living room, hung up. I've got a picture rail in this room all the way around, so I've got it up here, and I'll show you a picture of what it looks like up here. And the next thing and last thing I'm going to show you, which has been a bit of a passion project for the past few months. I started doing these in October last year, I think it was. No, November last year, sorry, October, November time. It was around the time that I was buying this place and getting all of that sorted, so it would have been around then. And that is these. So these came about as a result of the fact that I can't keep any plants alive at all. Like, I keep buying them, they keep dying, it's very sad. I currently have 5 of the plants that are still alive. One's barely hanging on. No, actually 2 are barely hanging on. I think they're gonna go soon. I've already had to throw away one this year. It's so sad. But I'm just really ungreen fingered, so everyone was like, you know what, just fake it till you make it. So I started making crepe paper flowers. So my crepe paper flower making journey started with some Leah Griffith crepe papers and book, and I realised that, you know what, following a book is not always a necessity. I ended up doing a lot of like looking at a few YouTube tutorials and realised that no one's going to care whether my flowers look like a specific type of flower or not. and after that I just winged it the whole time, and this is what the result is. So I've ended up doing a lot of these almost like kind of peony style flowers with loads and loads of petals all the way around them. And I wonder if I've got one in here. I did do it some Jabira style ones as well, like that, some smaller roses and things like that, and all the different kind of colours and everything there. For the leafy bits, I used my Cricut to cut out card and some paper because they get really fiddly. But yeah, it's fun. It's really fun actually. It's actually very therapeutic making these, and I have found that really you can't go wrong if things are kind of quite pretty colours. Just put loads of petals on and it will always look good. The problem is when you don't have enough petals and they're looking a bit sparse and they don't look so good. But as long as they've been like pulled out properly and they look kind of petal-like, stick them all together and it tends to look like a flower. But I've had really good responses from them. So when people come and visit, they're always really surprised that these are not real. But the main aim wasn't just to make this little bouquet of flowers. It was, oh no, let's put that down first. It wasn't just to make this bouquet of flowers. I wanted to decorate this big mirror that I bought, which I will show you now. We'll go for a little walk. So this is where the bulk of the flowers ended up. You can see how I've decorated them around this mirror. And on both sides here, got some that look a little bit more unnatural, like this little pale lilac rose, and some other little flowers as well too. And I love the effect that they have. I love how they brighten up a room. I also love the fact that, you know, they require zero maintenance and they look great and they'll stay this way forever. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed that video. It's just something a little bit different than the norm. Next month I'll probably be back to just plain old clothing, I'll be honest. I haven't been doing that much, or haven't planned that much home stuff right now, but we'll wait and see what happens. I'll link down below to all the patterns and fabrics and everything that I've used with the makes that I've done, and I'll even link to the kind of macrame stuff and the crepe paper stuff as well if you want to try your hand at that. But hopefully I will see you guys soon with a new video. Until then, bye guys.